Nice one called dudes. I am at Newport bus station on the Isle of Wight, about to undertake a ghost walk. And what better place to start a ghost walk than here at the bus station? Because once you've been waiting for a bus for about half an hour, you probably wish you were dead. First of all, I should thank Gay Baldwin, whose ghost books were invaluable and the source for pretty much everything in this walk. You can get her books online here. Right, let's go on with it because it is very cold. And here on St James Square is the site of the very first ghost. This building here is the old Top Shop. And before that, it was Wadham's, which was a furniture business that was around for about 130 years. But what is the ghost? Well, none other than a phantom lift. Workers in Topshop often had the sound of a lift whirring and assumed that it was a lift next door. But it turns out the lift was removed back in 1994 and filled with rubble. Let's hope the quality of ghosts in this video goes up. And just across the road here, where Waterstones is the old Bugle Hotel. And the owner, John Amis, said that a poltergeist frequented the kitchens and pots and pans would be thrown across everywhere. And further up the high street, where the old Woolworths was, there have been sightings of a grey lady, but practically every single place you go, there's a grey lady. There are more grey ladies than that cool dudes is the old Guildhall, which is now the Museum of Isle of Wight History. And it's only open 2 days a week for about 3 hours. So you're more likely to see a ghost than you are to be here when it's open. Also, it's the home of a ghost. Pretty rubbish one, the phantom footsteps. Apparently, someone who worked there could hear some footsteps, and when they went to look, no one was there. That, as well as the grey lady, is one of the more common ghosts. But what is more interesting is that this area here used to be where the old butter markets and cheese markets were, and it became known as a local centre for women to gossip, and it was known locally as Gape Mouth Corner. And as well as looking through my ghost books, I've been looking through this brilliant book of Isle of Wight dialect. One of my favourite expressions in the whole book was bargain Saturday. The 3 weekends before October the 11th were the days when farm workers had to try and get their jobs for next year. So the last Saturday was well known for a day when everyone got drunk after they got their jobs, and it was quite raucous fighting and drinking in the streets. Bargain Saturday. I very much enjoyed reading the book on Isle of Wight dialect on the way here. And I have to say, today, it's so shrill, I'm surprised I haven't got haglets hanging off my nose. Oh look, a erection post. Oh, I'm feeling quite sharp-zit, so I might get myself some Bobby Dicks to put in my mouth later on. The bits of local Isle of Wight dialect I can remember growing up, where everyone used the word girt for big. But I think that was the same over a lot of the West Country as well, because it's very similar bits of dialect. And also, people called young kids nippers as well. What were the common bits of local dialect in your region, viewer? I'll be very interested to hear them, or see them rather. Please write them down below. Many of you will be asking, why are we heading out of Newport, Marek, onto a busy road? Well, this here is Fairlee Road, the site of possibly the best ghost in the whole of Gay Baldwin's series of books. Yeah, pretty exciting. You know, sometimes there are those scary photographs with ghosts in the background. Well, there was one taken on this very road back in 1928 when Lucy Connard-Timmer was in the back garden just having a photo taken by the flowers. When it was developed, a face was seen in the hedge. Pretty scary, right? But guess what? It gets even scarier because they showed this photo to the next door neighbour who, when she saw it, exclaimed, "Oh, my Georgie." What was she talking about? Well, her son, George Butcher, had died of appendicitis 3 months earlier, and that was him in the photos. Terrifying. And according to Gabe Baldwin, that photo has been authenticated by a psychical research society. I don't know how to pronounce it. So, what are the chances of it being true? I would say, considering the location, Fairlee Road. Get it? Oh, don't be such a Ralph Spooner. What's a Ralph Spooner? Behind me is the old staff block of the Fairlee Hospital. It's now the Mountbatten Hospice, and it's the site of what is known as the crying ghost nurse. The story goes that a nurse had an affair with one of the doctors, which went tragically wrong, and her body was said to be found at the bottom of a flight of stairs in a pool of blood. Many staff have reported hearing the weeping of the nurse, and it's said that when you walk into her old bedroom, which is on the second floor, you get hit by a wall of cold. A lot of these ghost sightings say that you experience a feeling of cold whenever you go into an area that's haunted, which means that today Newport is absolutely jam-packed with ghosts. Heading back into Newport now, cool dudes, and I thought I'd just read a few of my favourite other words from the Isle of Wight Dialect book. Pinch fart, that means stingy or mean. Jobber-headed, stupid or dull. I mean, I can be quite jobber-headed at times. And wobble-jad, which means rickety or shaky. There was another definition in the book, which I won't say because it is quite rude, but it did make me laugh out loud on the bus when I read it. See if you can find it on this page. Crocker Street leads on to Honey Hill. This is not where you come to meet honeys, but it's possibly the site of the scariest ghost in all of the book. A young couple bought a terraced house back here in 1984, but it was on Christmas Eve that the haunting began. A new mother, Caroline, woke up to find her 5-week-old daughter had been removed from her crib and placed at the bottom of her bed. And the next day she covered her daughter in blankets to go to her mother's house. And she took 4 steps and turned around to find that behind her, her daughter was uncovered and the blankets had been tied in knots and laid on the floor by the bed. Things escalated. They began to hear a woman's voice whispering and then banging and crashing sounds. So they called a vicar who could sense a presence, and he thought it was of a woman who had perhaps lost her own baby. He performed a blessing and the ghost was not seen again. But oddly, for the 3 months of the ghost stay, they received an electricity bill for £800 and they struggled for months to pay it. That was back in 1984. These days, I mean, that's a normal electricity bill. Right, next, on to the Castle Inn. This is the oldest pub in Newport and was once a centre for cockfighting. It's home to a whistling ghost who whistles between 2 AM and 3 AM in the morning. Very inconsiderate. It's thought to be an ostler who hung himself in the hayloft back in 1600. Heading down Scarrott's Lane now. I wish this was something to do with scary carrots, but it's actually named after a bloke called Christopher Scarrott who had an orchard and a big house here. And Scarrett's Lane leads on to Gray's Walk, which is named after Valentine Gray, the child chimney sweep who died after getting lots of severe blows to the head from his violent master. You might remember him from Braiding Wax Museum. And next to Gray's Walk over here is where I think was the location of the old Olive restaurant. And the proprietor said she was once asleep upstairs when at 2 o'clock in the morning she saw a head materialise and the figure of a man appeared, soon joined by a boy and a black dog. And other users of the restaurant claim to have smelt tobacco smoke. I don't know about you cool dudes, but I sometimes get strange smells of tobacco smoke when no one's been smoking. I think it can be caused by damage to your nose. Maybe I've been blowing my nose too hard. Oh no. Alright, time for the last ghost. Behind me, cool dudes, it's Farmhouse Fair, which is one of Newport's favourite grocers, and it's the site of a poltergeist. According to the book, every morning Joan had to come into work and clear up vegetables and fruit that had been thrown over the floor everywhere. Every single morning for 12 years. Poor old Joan. So if you walk down St James's Street late one night and you're struck on the back of the head by a cucumber, you're not being assaulted by a human being. Oh no, you're the victim of a poltergeist. Well, that is it, cool dudes. What a terrifying walk. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not join the club and you can watch more videos on YouTube. Also, you can get merchandise like this Good Luck Everyone, especially me badge. Alright, prize draw for members coming up next. Oh yeah, one more thing. Stay cool. That walk was so terrifying that my entire beard fell off. Anyway, cool dudes, this is that picture that I painted. If you like bright colours and want to own this original masterpiece, as usual, it is for sale on eBay with a link in the description below. I'll start it off at, let's say, £10. Also, I've got a recommendation, cool dudes. Ivo recommended this poster maker who does all these incredible drawings of mythical beasts of different areas of the UK. And I'll put a link to his Etsy shop below as well. Thank you, Ivo, for that recommendation. It's almost time for the prize draw. I've still been making lots of key rings. I've just done some winter Marek ones, which will be on the website now and might sell out soon. So please send me your pictures for the gallery at the end. Alright, the prize draw this week is for these incredible prizes. Currently, there are 294 very kind people who are members on YouTube. Random number generator. Generate me a number. Generate 239. The person who has been a member for the 239th longest amount of time on YouTube is More Moderate Peril. I will email you to get your address so I can send this stuff. Alright, that is it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll speak to you all soon. Oh yeah, one more thing. Stay cool.